I know, no excuses, I breached his personal space, I FD up. Now I might be spiraling. I don't know how to feel and what to do. After lunch, he and I had our usual chat, so I took the chance to ask him about something. I told him that I saw him paying extra attention to someone I'm close to. While she was over, I saw him observing her for quite a while, and so I asked him if there was anything there for him. Mind you, I asked him calmly and in the best way I can without it sounding like he did anything wrong. I genuinely wanted to know what he had in his mind. He said he didn't even realize he was doing that and apologized, and we just sort of finished talking about it. I'm usually the type of person who's always trusted their gut feeling, so I felt like something was off with him after that conversation. I don't know what led me to do it. Deep insecurities or just distrust or both. When he went out, I looked at his messages on his laptop. I needed to know if somehow there's something he's not telling me. I decided to open the chat with his best friend, and now I can't unread it all. His let's call her Mia, apparently deeply dislikes me. We've never met, so she's only got stories from him to go by making an impression of me. I feel like I've either been living a lie or have been delusional this whole time, because she seems to think I'm making his life harder for him, and what hurt the most was that he seems to be the one fueling it. I get her anger. If I was told by my best friend that she was mistreated, taken for granted or unappreciated, I'd be angry too. My fiancé and I have had our fights, yes. And part due to my insecurities. I've been vulnerable and upfront with him when I stray into those dark places. I know I'm not an easy person to love. That's always been with me, so when I met him, I really thought and still do think, he's my person. But everything I read hurt so much. He'd tell Mia things like, I almost stole someone's girlfriend, I'm such a whore, she's insecure again. This was after I told him jokingly, don't cheat on me, when he went out to the club and I stayed in. And scrolling further, I found him venting to Mia about a fight we had with him, saying, this bitch is insecure again. It shocked the living hell out of me, 'cause I recall that fight. To my face he presented himself to be calm and forgiving, but when he's describing it to Mia, it's something totally different, with him even saying, I just need to survive until the end. I didn't see one exchange where he said nice things about our relationship. To be fair, they call sometimes too and exchange voice notes, but as far as the texts are concerned, nothing nice about us at all. I feel like I lived a totally different reality to what he lived. I felt loved, I felt joy. Aside from those rare fights, we really do lean and support one another. I want to marry him one day. But does he feel the same? With me he is so loving and caring, more than anything I could ever ask for, but how he's venting off about our fights and how he's not even once defended me when Mia speaks so ill about me. Is this really the kind of man who wants to marry me? I know I won't get sympathy, and really I'm not asking for it. But please tell me, is this normal for people to do? Those who love your partners to bits, do you vent about them like this to close friends? I just need to know. TLDR, I read my fiancé's text with his best friend and found out his BF hates my guts, and he vents about me to her after fights we have, at one point calling me a bitch. Story 2, AITA for refusing to attend my best friend's wedding after she replaced me as MOH because I'm too fat, I'm pregnant, and asking her to pay me back for everything? I, 27F, have been best friends with Claire, 28F, since high school. When she asked me to be her maid of honor, I was thrilled and went all out to make her wedding special. I paid for the bridal shower, bachelorette party, a weekend trip, decorations, and other expenses, spending several $1,000s. While it was a lot of money for my husband and me, I wanted to make her big day perfect because she's like family to me. 2 months ago, I shared that I'm 4 months pregnant. Claire congratulated me but started acting distant afterward. She excluded me from conversations about the wedding and made passive comments about how hard it is to coordinate when people are distracted. I brushed it off, thinking it was wedding stress. A few days ago, she sat me down and told me she didn't want me in the wedding anymore. Her reason? I'm getting too fat, and she doesn't want me in the pictures. She said she has a specific vision for her wedding, and I no longer fit it. I was devastated. I asked if this was about my pregnancy, but she insisted it wasn't personal. She said she was replacing me as MOH with another friend who fit her aesthetic. I told her if I wasn't in the wedding, I wouldn't attend at all. I also handed her the receipts for everything I'd paid for and told her she or her fiancé needed to reimburse me since I'd only spent that money as her MOH. Claire flipped out, calling me selfish and accusing me of trying to ruin her wedding. She said it was tacky to ask for the money back and that expenses like these were my responsibility as MOH. I reminded her that she removed me from that role, so those expenses were no longer mine. Since then, Claire, her fiancé, and even her family have been spamming me with calls and texts. They're accusing me of being petty and overreacting because of pregnancy hormones. They're also saying I should have just let it go and written off the money because weddings are stressful, and Claire didn't mean to hurt me. My husband has been incredibly supportive and says I did the right thing. He's furious at how Claire treated me and agrees that I shouldn't be out thousands of dollars for a wedding I'm not part of. I feel heartbroken and humiliated by someone I thought was my best friend. Still, the constant backlash has made me second-guess myself. Aita for standing up for myself and asking for reimbursement? Should I have just quietly stepped aside? Story 3, Aita for pointing out that none of my in-laws went to university? About a month ago, I, 24F, took my final exam at university, marking a huge milestone in my life. I'm the first woman in my family to achieve this, and it wasn't an easy journey. I faced significant hardships along the way, including homelessness, domestic violence, and the loss of family members. Despite everything, I graduated with honors and earned the highest grades in my class, which made me really proud. Last night, my partner's, 27M, parents hosted a big family gathering. While we were all at the dinner table, his cousin, who I get along well with, asked how it felt to be done and congratulated me on my achievement. I told him I felt proud and relieved that it was finally over. That's when my brother-in-law chimed in with a dismissive comment, saying something along the lines of, "It's not that big of an achievement, people do it all the time." His mom and a few others agreed, adding their own comments about how it's not hard to finish a degree. This brother-in-law has a history of putting me down, calling me dumb and other names, which my partner has addressed with him before. Ironically, he had once attended university himself but was kicked out for failing all his classes in the first year. Usually, I ignore his remarks, but this one caught me off guard, and I responded without my usual filter, "Then how come you got kicked out?" His mom immediately told me my comment was inappropriate and rude. She went on to say that just because he didn't finish his degree doesn't mean he's wrong. I replied, "Well, if it's so easy, why hasn't a single one of you earned a degree?" Some family members, including my partner and the cousin, backed me up, but his mom was furious and asked me to leave. This morning, I woke up to messages from family members. Some agreed with me, saying I had a point but could have been nicer. Others, including his mom, felt my comments were uncalled for and said I had no right to humiliate my brother-in-law. So, Aita? Edit, BTW. I don't think anyone has to go to university to be successful. In fact, I believe that many people can and will accomplish incredible things without it. Edit 2, wow, I didn't expect this to get so much attention. Thank you all for your support and the funny comments. Some of you calling me out may be right, I probably didn't need to involve the whole family. I felt a bit cornered and ended up lashing out at everyone, and that's on me. I think I'll take a step back from family events for a while and focus on the relationships with those who did support me.